Greetings, everybody. This is Shinobi Whispers, and by the sound, I'm sure you can tell that I've got a new microphone, so I'm pretty excited to use it. And I was going to begin this video with showing you where I've been this last weekend to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and got to visit a very unshy octopus, a giant octopus, that is. And yeah, it was a great experience because I never got to see this octopus come out before. I've been to the Monterey Bay Aquarium at least 4 or 5 times, and he never came out during those whole visits. But anyways, while this video is playing, I thought I would enlighten some of you in this article I found called "How Smart is the Octopus?" And so this start of it, Aristotle didn't have a high opinion of the octopus. Quote, "The octopus is a stupid creature," he wrote, "for it will approach a man's hand if it be lowered in the water." 24 centuries later, this stupid creature is enjoying a much better reputation. YouTube is loaded with evidence of what some might call octopus intelligence. One does an uncanny impression of a flounder, another mimics coral before darting away from a pushy camera. A third slips its arms around a jar, unscrews it, and dines on the crab inside. Scientific journals publish research papers on octopus learning, octopus personality, octopus memory. Now the octopus has even made it into the pages of the journal Consciousness and Cognition, along with its fellow cephalopods, the squid and the cuttlefish. The title, Cephalopod Consciousness, Behavioral Evidence. So is the octopus really all that smart? Depends on how you define intelligence. And if you've got equitable definition, there are quite a few scientists who would love to hear it. Octopuses can learn, they can process complex information on their heads, and they can behave in equally complex ways, but it would be a mistake to try and give octopuses an IQ score. They are not intelligent in the way we are, because they are dumb, but because their behavior is the product of hundreds of millions of years of evolution under radically different conditions than the ones under which our brains evolved. You have to go back about 700 million years to find the moment in the history of life when humans and octopuses diverged. Our most recent common ancestor, scientists suspect, was a little worm-like creature with eye spots and little more. Since then, our lineage evolved bones. Their evolved boneless bodies they control with water pressure. We accumulated so many and such incredible differences over that time that 20th century scientists were excited to discover a few deep similarities in the 1950s. For example, biologists demonstrated for the first time that octopuses have massive brains. Cephalopods belong to the same lineage that produce snails, clams, and other mollusks. A typical mollusk might have 20,000 neurons arranged in a different net. The octopus has half a billion neutrons. The neutrons in its head are massed into complex lobes, much the way our own brains are. In comparison with their octopuses have the biggest brains of all invertebrates. They are even bigger than the brains of fish and amphibians, putting them on par with those of birds and mammals. In the late 1950s, Oxford biologist N.S. Sutherland decided to put the big brains of octopuses to the test. He would show them two shapes and reward them for touching one, but not the other. They might learn to tell a rectangle in a horizontal position from the same rectangle rotated 90 degrees, and once they had figured out this test, the octopus knew to select any horizontal rectangle they saw. No matter what its particular dimensions, they were learning what to learn. Over the years, octopuses have shown many more signs of intelligence. They proved to have an excellent memory. They were clever and unpredictable. Jennifer Mather, a Canadian biologist, has tossed toys into octopus tanks and watched as the octopus inspected them and puffed them around with jets of water. They are playing, she argues. Clams do not play, humans do. Mather is also the author of a new paper arguing for consciousness in the octopuses. She does not claim that they have full-blown consciousness, like we do, but simpler form known as primary consciousness. In other words, they can combine their perceptions with their memories to have a coherent feel for what's happening to them at any moment. Mather bases her claim not just on how octopuses behave, but also on how their brains work. For example, one sign of the complexity of the human brain is that we can be left-handed or right-handed. Our preference comes from one side of the brain dominating over the other. A sign of how the two sides of our brains are not identical. Instead, they divide up mental work and communicate with each other to create a unified sense of reality. Octopuses may not be left-handed or left-armed, but Mather claims that they show similar kinds of specialization with their eyes. In a 2004 experiment, she and her colleagues found that when they looked out from their dens, some preferred to sit with their left eye facing out, others with their right. But some octopus experts are skeptical of these bold claims. Many reports of weird octopus behavior come from casual observations in aquariums. Even some experiments have not held up to scrutiny. Last year, Jean Bull of Millersville University and her colleagues found fault with Mather's experiments on left and right-brained octopuses. The problem was that the scientists had looked all too few octopuses. It was impossible to rule out the possibility that octopuses might not have a preference at all for either eye. Results of experiments might simply have been a matter of chance. After 50 years, in other words, we still don't know that much about what's going on in the heads of octopuses. Carefully designed experiments will be essential for finding out more, but so will a more octocentric attitude. What we call intelligence is really just a set of behaviors and abilities that evolved in our ancestors as they adapted to a particular way of life. Octopuses evolved behaviors of their own, but they were adapting to a way of life that's hard for us to imagine. They were naked mollusks in a world of fish. The earliest cephalopods, which lived about 500 million years ago, had shells. Over the next 25 million years, they evolved into giant predators. They shot bursts of water out of siphons to swim, a prehistoric form of jet propulsion. But their glory was cut short by a fish with jaws. Our ancestors' fish could swim faster by bending their bodies than cephalopods could move by jetting. Today, only a single-shelled cephalopod survives, the nautilus, which spends most of its life lurking deep underwater. The other living cephalopods lost their shells. While they gave up a defense against predators, they were free to evolve new skills. Squids became fast swimmers. Octopuses instead moved to the seafloor where they could use their shell-free bodies to explore cracks and crevices for prey. But in order to survive in this new niche, they had to become fast learners. Jean Paul and her colleagues have done some experiments that showed how good octopuses are at learning geography. Paul put the octopuses in tanks with assortments of landmarks such as plastic jugs, plates of pebbles, and clumps of algae. It took only a few trials for the octopus to find the quickest route to a hidden exit in the bottom of the tank. What made Paul's results particularly impressive is that the octopuses were learning two completely different mazes at once. Paul would move them from one to the other after each trial. Somehow the octopuses could keep track of two geographies concurrently. When octopuses are moving across new terrain, they can perhaps learn the best escape from predators. Octopuses escape from predators not just by hiding quickly, but by deceit. One of the most impressive examples of this deception is what marine biologist Roger Hanlon calls the moving rock trick. An octopus morphs into a shape of a rock and then inches across an open space. Even though it's in plain view, predators don't attack it. They can't detect its motion because the octopus matches its speed to the motion of the light in the surrounding water. For Hanlon, what makes this kind of behavior remarkable is that it's a creative combination of lots of behavior used to address a new situation. Similarly, when an octopus escapes an attack, it may puff up its body and turn white to scare a predator, shoot off puffs of ink to distract it, zigzag through the water, and then suddenly switch its skin to match the surrounding coral. There's not much point in trying to bend this sort of behavior to some human-based scale of intelligence, because our behavior emerged as apes adapted to life spent in two legs and groups and using our hands to make tools. We fail pretty badly at an octopus-based test of intelligence, but surely we wouldn't hold it against ourselves. So anyway, yeah, that's the end of that article, and I just wanted to expand a bit on the knowledge of the octopus and how great their intelligence is, and yeah, they're pretty remarkable creatures, and they are probably my most favorite sea animal, simply because of their intelligence, and they've got pretty remarkable intelligence, and but going back to my experience in the Monterey Bay Aquarium, awesome to see a creature like this responding to its surroundings, and of course some people just kept on flashing their camera, which they weren't supposed to do. I was just filming this while this was all going on, and it was just interesting to see an octopus finally up close. And sometimes, as you saw, he would come at me, or I don't even know if it's a he or she, but he or she was, going back and forth in different directions, and you could probably see all those suction cups that he had, and it's pretty intense to see all those suction cups at once, and I think it's an amazing creature, and there's not, also the form that sorry, I'm staggering here, but thinking of something intelligent to say about this creature, but I think it would have been better if they had a bigger environment for the octopus here, instead of all these exhibits. I mean, I hope most of the creatures in the aquarium are taken out of their confines and put in a bigger tank for a while for them to stretch out. Because if I was one of these creatures, I would definitely go insane being in that tiny locked area for hours on end with a bunch of humans looking at me, but that's just me sympathizing with these creatures. On another note, I love how they can camouflage themselves to their surroundings, kind of like a chameleon, in the way that they can totally disappear into the ground or with their surroundings. Is pretty cool defense mechanism that I wish I had. And it's also kind of what a ninja is like, disappearing into their surroundings and totally going into invisible mode where no one can see them. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I think I've got about 2 more minutes, but I'm not trying to focus on time here. The octopus here would, he would definitely change his colors when somebody would flash their camera unknowingly, and he would change to that purpley, light purple color. I think he was trying to change into the colors of its environment, and it was just amazing to see that up close, and for the octopus to actually come out and give us a little insight of, their behavior. But the octopus has always been a favorite creature of mine, and I probably wouldn't want to, I would want to hold one, but I think I would like to start with a smaller octopus, but definitely not the blue-ringed octopus. Maybe like a smaller cousin of the giant octopus. Maybe I would want to hold one that size, like maybe the size of a kitten, and then work my way up to the giant octopus. But I think that I've seen videos of people feeding the octopus when they're on duty and taking care of the octopus, which is a pretty cool thing to see. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and got to see some pretty cool shots of the octopus here. Giant octopus, as I should say. And hope to make more videos soon, and hope you are doing well. Peace out, and the octopus says